All right, well, thanks for such a warm welcome. I'm just glad I didn't have to follow the tax girl. Holy smokes, isn't she incredible? Who knew taxes, numbers were easy and taxes are fun, right? So I'm going to do things a little bit differently than the other speakers. The other speakers have been really motivational and inspirational. They've been getting into your head. I'm going to be a little bit more tactical. Is that okay? So with the show of a hell yes, who wants to win more clients and make more sales? Hell yes. Okay. And who would like to not just know how to do it, but actually have a tool that makes it possible? Hell yes? So not so much? Back.
Yeah, just stay back there for now so I can get back to the soundboard.
So again, I'm going to give you a tool, but you have to say hell yes. Thank you. All right. So I'll just keep going while this is being fixed. So it sounds like I need to change who I am, but I'm the marketing medic. And the reason I call myself the marketing medic is because I was a paramedic for 12 years. Okay? And there's two things that made me a medic. I was a little bit different than other medics. And the first thing was empathy. I showed more empathy for my patients than other medics did. I thought it was super important to understand their fears and what they're going through as much as their illness or their injury. So that's how I treated them. The second thing I did, well, actually most medics do this. We focus on results, okay? We had standard operating procedures. Oh, I guess I can change the slide now. There we go. That's me. Yeah, so we had standard operating procedures, but what really mattered, first and foremost, is my mic working? Yeah. Okay, it's quiet back here. Okay. So what mattered first and foremost was results. Did the patient die? I was also a firefighter. Did the fire get put out? That's what was most important. And as entrepreneurs and as business owners, should you guys be focusing on the process or the results? The results. Are you winning more clients? Are you making more sales? Okay? So what I want to do is show you how to do that, but I'm going to need a volunteer. But I need a very specific volunteer, and I'm going to bribe that volunteer. I'm so afraid to come near the speaker. Okay, so this volunteer, if you come up on stage, I'm going to give you a free copy of my book. I'll autograph it, so it'll be a collector's edition. It's going to be worth a lot of money one day. But here's what I'm looking for. So stand up if you're willing to volunteer and you are a single woman. Sit down. So stand up if you're a single woman, but sit down if you don't like dogs. What? You don't like dogs? Sitting down. Okay. Sit down, dogs. Sit down if you don't like horses. If you don't like horses, sit down. Sit down if you don't like the outdoors. Okay? Sit down if you never ever want to get married. Okay, cool. Okay, so I got 5 contenders. I'll just bring the closest person. Closest person, come on up. That's you, closest person. All right, come on up, yep. So I'm going to ask you so my name's Mike. What's your name?
My name is Nancy DeParga.
Nancy. Okay, so big cheer for Nancy, everyone. Okay, so Nancy, I have a super simple question. Just a yes or no answer, okay? It's a serious question, though, so you have to take it seriously. Are you ready? Yes. Okay, cool. Nancy? Will you marry me?
Yes.
No, this is serious.
We're not getting married.
Okay, she said no. Whew. You're hilarious. You gave me a heart attack. Stay here. I'm not done with you. So this is a mistake most businesses make, okay? I identified my target audience. I was looking for a single female who likes dogs, who likes horses, likes the outdoors, and wants to get married. So I said, there's my audience. Here's my offer. Right? And that's what you're doing in your business. You're finding your audience and you're saying, I found you, here's my thing, you should buy it. And what do they say? You said yes first. But she was joking. She said no, right?
Yes.
Yeah, peer pressure. And actually, I'm going to come back to you. Well, you're always here. I'm going to stay with you. So on a scale of 1 to 100, with 1 being like, no way, never, will I ever marry you, to 100, it's like, let's jump off stage, call an Uber, and go to the courthouse. Where are we on the marriage scale? Just pick a number. Yeah, because for the book. Keep the eye on the prize, eye on the prize. Quick, come on.
Number one, I don't know.
No, just quick, give me a number.
Okay,
10.
10.
Oh my God, 10.
5.
Okay, 5, you get slow. Okay, we'll go with 10. 10 was your first answer. Okay, and so what I've done wrong here is you don't know anything about me. That's why you only gave me a 10. So let's go through who I am, okay? So I'm a huge dog lover. On the screen, you'll see my 5 rescue dogs, okay? So up at the top on the dog bed there is Charlie, the brown basset hound. Beneath Charlie is Buddy, the black and white basset. Brandon knows all about black and white bassets. Beneath Buddy is Fred, the old dog. He's the border collie. He's 14 years old. He pees in the house all over the place. To his right, we've got the neurotic Willie, the Labradane. And then on the right side of the picture is Devil Spawn himself, Biko, the crazy Australian dog, Australian Shepherd dog. And then, are you paying attention? Because I'm making my pitch to you here. And then I've got horses, and it's hard for you to see, but I got these 3 really cool horses, okay? And then there's my house. Oh, you gotta go see the house. So I have a 6,000 square foot home. Oh, just stay up here. I've got a 6,000 square foot home on 164 acres with 10 kilometers of trails, okay? And we're off the grid, okay? That's me. So now that you know about me, and this is a serious, if you say yes, we're leaving. You're still gonna say no, aren't you? Okay, so she's verklempt, that's all right. So, but how are we now on the scale 1 to 100? I was at 10, am I any better?
50.
50, that was I'm gonna come back to this. I'm gonna come back to why I've jumped so much. But technically, and I'm gonna come back to this, but what did I do wrong there when I explained who I was? Who did I talk about? You. Me. I've got a house, I've got dogs, I've got a horse, me. And so with your businesses, what are you guys talking about? Me. You're talking about your features, right? When you should be focused more on the benefits. I should be drawing you into the story. So you're in big trouble now, because we're gonna do this, okay? So here's the deal. Oh, I wish you could see this. So get down there. Yeah, so go down there now, because you got to see the storyboard here. So this is my bedroom. Okay, it's an 800 square foot bedroom with a gorgeous, super comfortable bed. Okay, this is where we'll wake up in the morning. I'm going to bring you breakfast and bread, whatever you like. You know, berries, fresh berries, yogurt, granola, bacon and eggs if you like. And then once you're done eating breakfast in this lovely bedroom, I'm going to go out to the barn, tack up the horses, because you like horses, and we're going to go for a ride back to the lake. Oh, I forgot to mention, I have a private lake at the back of my property. Okay? So if we go straight there, it'll take about 15, 20 minutes on the trails. We go straight there. But if you want to go for a ride, I've got 10 kilometers of trails. There's some logging roads. We could go for a couple hours. However long you want to ride, we'll ride. Okay? You can see on the right, that's us crossing the beaver dam there. And if you look in the back, there's 2 little animals. Those are my pygmy goats. I forgot. We have I hope you like pygmy goats, because they came with me on that ride. But when we go, we're not going to bring the goats. We're going to bring the dogs. Okay? So we're going to go to the lake with the dogs. We'll play fetch. But do you know what your problem was, Nancy? You forgot to bring your bathing suit. But does that matter? Because it's a private lake. Nobody's there. Swimsuits are optional. Okay? So we're going to spend the morning playing in the water, playing with the dogs. We'll have a nice picnic lunch, nap under the tree. Huh? How's that sound? Interesting. So now, on a scale of 1 to 100, with a day like that, how willing are you to marry me? I was at a 50. Am I getting closer?
For me,
I went down? Oh, a 90? Where are we?
maybe
8. An 8?
8.
I dropped way down. So my targeting was way off. Okay, so that's cool. This is my next slide. This is coming up. So that's fine that you said that. Because it's okay. But this is a mistake a lot of business owners are making. They come up with a good story. They get it beyond the features. They've got a benefit, but they only tell the one story. And what you have to understand today, in 2024, today is the worst day in history for people to trust you like you. They have so much skepticism, right? So that one story most of the time won't cut it. You need more stories. You have to get more stories. So what if we went on 20 dates? But actually, I'm going to skip to the next slide. Because on a scale of 1 to 100, if I kept telling you those stories, I wouldn't do very well, would I? So this is the thing. The trick is to say and to do the right things, okay? When Nancy didn't know that much about me, she was willing to marry me. But then when she saw that we're going to live like really rustically, she's like, no, I'm a city girl, right? And so I can't be telling her stories that she doesn't want to hear. I need to say, listen, we're going to go fine dining. We're going to fly to Paris. We're going to go to Marseille. We're going to see museums, right? Now I know but my targeting was off first time, and that's why I scored so low. So let's hear from Nancy. Grab a book, and I'll sign it later. And I'm keeping the ring. So the important thing is you have to understand your audience, okay? And there's 2 levels of understanding that you have to have. First is an experiential understanding, and the second is an emotional understanding. So on the experiential side of things, what we have is, at the one end of the spectrum, we have the unaware people. And so let's keep with the whole engagement story, okay? So imagine I had a 22-year-old. Forbes, what's your daughter's name?
Oh, you're going to marry her?
No, she's going to say no, right?
How big is your bank account?
So,
No. 21.
she's 21. So if I brought McKenna up here, and she loved everything she heard, but how willing would she be to marry me? She wouldn't be, right? Because she just got out of school. She's got her business going. I bet she's got a whole bunch of girlfriends she hangs out with. And if she's the love of my life and she's the one I want to marry, it's going to take me a lot of work to convince her that married life is better than what she has right now, right? And on the other end of the spectrum, when Nancy came on stage, and I'm not going to focus, pick on her. But let's imagine another like 42-year-old woman comes. Let's say McKenna comes up on stage 20 years later, and she's never found the right guy. But Forbes is like, I want grandkids. I want grandkids. And McKenna wants grandkids too, right? And she's 42 years old. She knows she's only got a couple years left to reproduce, right? At 42. So imagine I bring her up on stage at 42. How hard is it for me to get her to marry me at that point, right? It's not going to be that hard at all because she knows that I've got all my own teeth. I can stand upright. I'm a sperm donor, right? She's probably going to say yes as soon as she comes up on stage. And so we're talking about this in the engagement world, but this is the same for your audience. You have people at all 5 of these levels, and you have to speak to them at the right time, right? You've got people right now. Let's get some more hell yeses going. How many of you people have a solution that solves a problem, but your audience doesn't even know they have a problem? Hell yes, if that's you. Hell yes. Right? So in order to convert those people into clients, what do you have to do? You have to take them on 20 dates, 30 dates, 40 dates. You have to do all that work to educate them first about their problem before you can tell them about your solution. But you also have people that have been stalking you on Facebook. They've been watching all your Instagram reels. They've seen all your YouTube videos. They follow your podcast. They've listened to that 2 or 3 times each one, right? So for those people, what are they waiting for? A sale. Black Friday sale, 20% off, boom, sold, right? You don't have to do any work. You don't have to educate them to the problem. They know what it is, and they know that you're the one to provide the solution, okay? And then there's 3 steps in the middle, and as you move up the pyramid, that's less work that you have to do because they're more and more aware, okay? Then, after you get the experiential understanding, you need to have that emotional understanding. And I've broken this up into 2 phases. There's short-term and long-term. So in the short term, what are their difficulties? What problems are they having today that they want a solution tomorrow, okay? But in the long term, what are their dreads? What do they fear? Like, oh my gosh, like 42-year-old woman, she's fearing like dying alone, right? And so what's the solution for that? And your audience has these short-term difficulties and these short-term dreads. And what you want to do is you want to agitate, in your marketing message, you want to agitate those pain points and show how you can provide what we call the pleasure, right? Because people are going to run from the pain toward the pleasure. So you have to agitate both of those, all right? But how are you going to know what those pain points are? Can you ask them? You could, but are they going to be honest with you? Probably not, because people aren't honest anymore, right? They're not honest with their parents. They're not honest with their friends. They're not honest with their priests. They're not honest with their therapist, okay? There is one time when people are brutally honest. Who knows when that one time is? When they're drunk, when they're dying. Good answers, but no, wrong. When they write in their diary, right? You were the one, who said, you did the 3-day writing, right? Yeah. So when you're writing in your diary, what happens is your subconscious just flows through you onto the page, and quite often your conscious is like, oh my gosh, like where did that come from? That's why where's Carrie? That's why Carrie wanted us to write our vision down, because we all had like this sort of ethereal idea of what it was, but until we wrote it down, it wasn't concrete, and we didn't on a conscious level even know. So it's the diary. So with a hell yes, how valuable would it be if you could read your avatar's diary? Nobody wants to? Hell yes? Yeah. Hell yes. Okay, it's a hell yes. So here is a diary entry. So we're going back to the engagement thing, right? And so the first line of the diary is, today feels like a reflection of every fear and hope I've harbored silently. Imagine if you could read that for your audience. Jesus. Okay, imagine if you could read that for your audience. How valuable would that be if you know every hope and fear, okay? Let's look at the second page. It says, my heart aches for motherhood, for the chance to nurture and love unconditionally. Okay, so there, imagine I've got a crush on this woman, I want to marry her, and because I love her so much, I invade her privacy, and while she goes into the bathroom, I go into her bedroom, and I read her diary. And I see this line about motherhood, right? So when she comes out, what am I going to talk about? No, I'm going to say, hey, this summer you want to backpack around Europe? No, I'm not going to say that, right? Because that's not what she wants. If she comes out like, I've got this amazing 3-month trip for backpacking around Europe, we're going to go here, we're going to go there, we're going to see the Eiffel Tower, it's going to be amazing. She's going to kick me to the curb. Because instead what I need to say is exactly what you said. While she's in the bathroom, she comes out, I'm going to say, listen, there's just a commercial with his father playing ball with his son, and oh my gosh, I can't wait till we have that. I can't wait to put a saddle on Nellie, and we teach our child to ride, and we'll go back to the lake, and we'll teach the child to swim, we'll build tree forts. It's just going to be so awesome. How good is my night going to be after I tell that to her? It's going to be pretty darn good. I'm going to get all the stuff. But that's easy, okay? It's easy to understand how you can do it with a romantic relationship and being a peeper and looking into that diary. But how do you do it with business? So let's look at this. How many of you guys came to this event saying, I can't wait to come to the Tag Talk because I want to learn about vision? Who said that? Nobody did, right? But how many of you felt this way? Every night I lie awake with a heart full of passion, but my mind is a maze with no clear direction. Okay, who felt like that before they got here? I'm the only one? Most of us came here, right? And so what did Carrie do when she came on stage yesterday? She asked us all, do you feel this way? And we all said yes. She asked us, who's making the money you want to make? And nobody raised their hand, right? We all said we're without direction. So what did Carrie do? Carrie says, you need a vision. And what did we all do? Yes, we need a vision, because she explained what the problem was, and she explained how a vision is the solution that we're looking for, okay? So when we're looking at that experiential awareness, this is at the bottom of the thing. We're like the unaware, the problem aware. Like these people are aware of the problem, but they're not looking for a solution. Because what other speaker did we have that could address the same problem? Brian, right? What did Brian come up in here and do? Boom, boom, snick, boom, snick, boom, boom, snick, right? If you can get in that rhythm in your life, do you think that would clear up this problem? It would as well, right? So what we're doing at this stage is we're talking about the solution. We're not talking about your solution specifically, we're talking about the solution in general. And Carrie didn't sell any of her stuff yesterday. She sold us on the solution, which was the vision, okay? The next slide, the next diary entry is a little bit more evolved. So today the fog cleared. I can see the outline of my dream, ready to be filled with color and life. I know my passion's purpose now, and I'm drafting the blueprint of my future. It's time to share my vision with the world, to step out of the shadows and into the light. Okay, so what Carrie wanted us to do was create our vision with the what and the why. And we all did that. We're like, yes! And they're all like, how? We don't know how. And this is when Carrie swoops in and says, I know you got your vision, but you don't know how. I can help you get there. Okay, so you see how Carrie's message will change as you evolve through this level of experiential awareness. Does that make sense to everybody? Hell yes, if that makes sense. Okay, cool. Because once you can see inside these diaries, then you're looking into the very souls of your audience. And how valuable is that, right? Because you don't want to just understand your audience, you want them to feel understood. And it's once you have that connection that you're going to be able to make those sales. Okay? So, now I've told you now I've done it, right? I've told you the what. The problem is you're not understanding your audience. I've told you why you want to understand them. You're like, yeah, that's awesome. We're going to read diaries. So we're all going to get like ninja costumes and break into people's homes in the middle of the night and hope they write. But that's not realistic. So what I've done is, who is it? Raul. He said he's using Chappy. I've always called it Chat GPT, but starting today I'm calling it Chappy. What I've done is I've been able to create these prompts that go in that educates Chappy all about Eugene Schwartz and breakthrough advertising and how to create the most detailed avatar possible. And then once Chappy is aware of your avatar's deepest, darkest secrets, then I get it to write the diaries that you saw today. So how many people would find having these diaries written by Chappy valuable? Say hell yes. Hell yes. Okay, cool. So there it is. There's the QR code, scan that, and you get the prompts. You get the prompts for how to get Chappy to write these diary entries for you. If it's can't see it, it's www.themarketingmedic.ca/stage-offer, okay? And because this is only a 20-minute talk, I couldn't teach you everything you need to know about marketing in 20 minutes, surprisingly. But I've included 2 other super important Chappy prompts that I've created. One is how to create your big differentiator. That's what's going to separate you from all your competitors. And it also, Chappy's going to help you create an irresistible offer. Okay? So you're going to get all those prompts 100% for free. So who sees the value of these diary entries? Hell yes?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's easy. We all come to these conferences, and what do we do when we get home? We're all pumped up, and we're going to change the world, and what do? Nothing. Usually nothing, right? And so, this is a solid blood oath you're swearing to me right now. Who is going to leverage these diary entries to better understand their audience and craft better messages? Hell yes.
Hell yes.
It's fun. So I worked with a vocal coach, and I do mostly done-for-you services. And before I even meet with the guy, I send them stuff and so I sent him a diary entry for his audience. And when I talked to him, he actually started to tear up as we were talking about the diary entry, because he's like, I've been doing this for 30 years. He's instructed some of the biggest Broadway singers. Oh man, and a couple of famous singers too. Anyways, but he's like, yeah, how do you know your audience so much better than I do? And I didn't tell him. I don't, Chappy does. But yeah, this is super, super powerful. It really, because the diary is told in more of a story form, you feel it more. And what I tell my people to do is, as you're going through and you see your audience has this problem, imagine you're talking to your sister or your brother or your child, right? And just speak to them in that way, and how you would, I see in your diary entry you made this comment. This is what you should do. And that's the video that you want to create, how you respond to that one line of the diary entry. And this is a 3-page diary entry, so you're going to have a lot of content to work with. But like I said, this is only one part of empathic marketing. Everything else is in my book, and I've got a couple left after Nancy. I don't even know if I should give Nancy one. She wouldn't marry me. But I've got copies of my book at the back, so if you want a copy of Empathic Marketing, then come back and see me. I'll let you know how we can make that happen. So I've got 2 minutes left. Does anybody have any questions? Yeah?
What are the data points that you utilize to make these prompts to get your avatar?
Like I say, so the first thing I do is I educate it to go and research Eugene Schwartz and breakthrough advertising, because he's like the godfather of direct response marketing. And so by chat understanding what Eugene Schwartz thinks about it, then I've got a list of prompts. Just download and you'll see. Then I've got all the things that you need to.
Well, I'm saying like a unique individual, where are you getting their data
Well, I'm not doing it, chat's doing it.
How are you putting in that? So like.
Oh, it's just smarter than all of us. So yeah, so if you're if you're an entrepreneur making like $10,000 to $50,000 a year who wants to go beyond that, that's all I need to tell chat, right?
Oh, so you're not getting like personal info.
Oh no, it's an aggregate of everybody in the world. Yeah, no. No, it's not. No, chat didn't like burrow into somebody's computer and actually steal a diary entry. No, it's an aggregate of the avatar that it created.
That makes sense. When you said diary, it sounded more.
Well, it is. It's a super personal diary entry, but it's make-believe. It's a complete aggregate of the, yeah. Any other questions? All right. Well, cool. I'll be here all night.